Smilen Sam Alvey!
It's Fight Talk time! Here's your hosts, Josh and Sam!
Okay, so we are live here on this very special edition of the Fight Talk podcast, sponsored by the Fight Platform. Check them out for all the latest mixed martial arts news and stories.
Episode number 5, February the 8th. This is a special one. We are going to be joined today by Mr. Sam Alvey. We did announce this last week. Due to timing, we've had to get this podcast out a little bit later, but it's absolutely fine because it's a special one and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it.
He's an absolute gentleman. It's an absolute treat to be talking to him.
Yeah.
We'll have that coming up a little bit, but right now, let's talk about the last fight card, UFC Fight Night Bermudez versus Korean Zombie.
So that was Saturday the 4th, if
It
I'm right?
was,
Yeah, it was.
yeah. And Korean Zombie shut us up straight away.
He did. We did not think that was going to happen. We thought Dennis Bermudez was going to take that.
And it did look like it for a while. Dennis Bermudez landing those clean shots, but Chang Sung-jung actually tied the record, obviously, for one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history when he knocked out Mark Hominick about 7-8 seconds into the fight.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if he didn't nearly do it, if he didn't use that same punching power to knock out Dennis Bermudez.
Yeah.
Good God, what an uppercut that was.
That uppercut, no one saw that coming.
Dennis Bermudez certainly didn't, and he did actually try to say it was an early stoppage, but when you're face down, ass up, you are unconscious,
Yeah.
and if the zombie's coming for you, it's best to have Herb Dean step in.
No, of course. So Chan Sung-jung now 15-4.
He's been called out by some big names, including Mr. Cub Swanson,
Yeah.
which is a fight I've been dying to see since they were both in the same
seeing
division.
that. No.
But also, you've got some other fights in the featherweight division, haven't you? You've got Chan Sung-jung versus Frankie Edgar,
Wouldn't mind seeing that.
Chan Sung-jung versus Max Holloway,
Also, wouldn't mind seeing that.
Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah, I'd see that, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of good fights down there for him, and I hope we see them. But what do you do with Dennis Bermudez now?
I don't know. I hope we see the Korean Zombie back in there as soon as possible, really.
I would. I'd like to see him. There's a couple of cards coming up that are a little bit weak. I'd like to see him 210 possibly.
Maybe,
210? 210.
210.
210. I'd like to see him on that card personally.
That'd be cool.
Dennis Bermudez versus the Korean Superboy is the fight for me.
Korean Superboy, yeah.
Both coming off a loss.
Yeah.
Both coming off a loss to a very talented opponent. And they both can throw down and they both can take a punch.
Yeah.
This fight excluding, obviously. That's a fight I'd make, and welcome back to Chan Sung-jung.
Yeah, of course.
Here, I hope he gets the belt this time around.
Yeah, it's a great comeback from him.
So, Felice Herring, Alex Grasso. What do you think of this fight?
Crazy one, unanimous decision. I actually can't. This wasn't one that I was looking. But beforehand, this wasn't one I was looking forward to as much.
But looking back, it was a decent display of technical prowess by both fighters.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it wasn't Gilbert Melendez versus Diego Sanchez. It wasn't that level of crazy.
Of course.
But there was a lot of skill shows, and Felice Herring obviously pulled out the win
Yeah.
and moves up the division. Strawweight division's wide open at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, Joanna's next opponent is watered down to a few people, obviously Michelle Waterson being one of them. I believe that Michelle Waterson, deserves the next title shot. I believe she's been around a lot longer, but then again, you also got Jessica Andrade creeping up those rankings, absolute destroying Angel Hill. We'll get to that in a bit.
That was a good fight.
It was a good fight, but yeah. So the straw. Personally, I want to see Joanna back in the cage as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's been far too long since we've seen her.
Yeah.
We're nearly at 208. She hasn't fought since 205. It's crazy.
I know.
And I would like to see Michelle Waterson fight, but I would not cry to see Jessica Andrade fight her.
No.
Because the classic between a more tactical striker in Joanna Jędrzejczyk or the power striker in Jessica Andrade, who can also throw people around like the Hulk.
We'll go down to her in a minute.
So we move to lightweight. James Vick beat April Trujillo.
I was
a
fan of this fight.
I enjoyed it, although I did call the fight. If I was the referee on that fight would have stopped a few times beforehand.
Yeah.
That was a weird situation. He had him in the beautiful Darce choke, and there was just no tap.
He must have had about 3 attempts at that Darce choke.
It was, but every attempt was in.
Yeah.
I was sat up watching it with you, and I'm like, he's got his hand, he's got his bicep.
Yeah.
He's choking, he's out. And then they're able to heal. It's just like, no.
And then he just moved.
Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
He was chilled.
Breathing through his arse. It was crazy. It's insane. It's great. I'm glad he got the Darce choke in the end, because god damn it, he worked for that choke.
Yeah.
But obviously, Abel Trujillo showing he's got those. He knows how to relax in a tricky situation.
Yeah.
But congratulations to James Vick. He's a very tall fight for lightweight, isn't he?
Yeah.
6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taller than... How big's Stipe? 6'2", isn't Stipe?
Not too sure. I think he is, yeah.
That awkward moment when the lightweight contender is taller than the heavyweight champion. That's weird. But yeah, James Vick, fair dues to him. He got the long arms, he got the choke. Who would you like to see James Vick fight?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'd like to see him have a step up in competition, personally. There's another strong jiu-jitsu practitioner we know, a long jiu-jitsu practitioner, sorry, Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz, yeah.
Isn't booked for a fight, laughed at the UFC's last fight offer, which I personally believe was Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie Alvarez, yeah, I think.
But, if Nate wants to take a fight off, he could, fight a contender who's not quite there yet, James Vick.
Yeah.
Obviously, definitely a future contender, in my opinion, but
yeah.
not quite there yet, not got the experience behind him that he needs.
No.
But, James Vick versus Nate Diaz, that is definitely a fight that I'd like.
I'll be happy to see that. Next up, we had the light heavyweight battle between Volkan Ozdemir and OSP. That was a split decision. A lot of people were talking about that on Twitter. I was scrolling through, and a lot of people were moaning. A lot of people said that OSP had won that fight 2-1.
Yes, I can understand that, because it was OSP's, obviously, Volkan won the first round, definitely. I don't know if you saw him between rounds. OSP's coach decided to have a few goes at OSP's chest as well. If you haven't seen it, Google it. It's so funny.
It was a bit
it's cool. You want to give him one of these, and these, and these, and this, and this, and this, and this, and he just punched him in the chest. It's hilarious. I believe Volkan won the first round handily.
Yeah.
The second round can go either way. We'll give it to OSP for argument's sake. And in the third round, Volkan came out and was pushing the pace. He was the aggressor. And then OSP toned it up in the last minute or so, and that's where the confusion comes in. A lot of people obviously believe in OSP to win the fight. If the fight had gone the other way, no worries. It's a split decision. It's a close fight. Whoopsie.
I honestly thought that OSP did win the fight. I put my pick on UFC Pick'em. If you don't know what that is, go and get it. It's a decent game where you pick your fighters round and how they did it. But yeah, I honestly thought OSP won that, and I thought I got my points for that, but obviously not.
Well, you didn't, so it's nice to see a new light heavyweight contender, because the light heavyweight division at the moment is contested between three people, and that's John Jones, DC, and Anthony Johnson.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long John Jones is out for. He's always coming back, and he's always a contender.
It's upsetting, because Dana White said he's never going to go into business with John Jones again and all this, and then he just comes back and he's like, no, nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
However, Anthony Johnson is looking scarier and scarier by the day, and I believe Anthony Johnson poses a real threat to John Jones. I actually have Anthony Johnson, because in this fight, I'd say DC wins the fight that's coming up, DC versus Johnson too. However, DC came out and made a ludicrous comment, I'm not going to wrestle with Anthony Johnson, I will box with Anthony Johnson and I will knock out Anthony Johnson.
Bit cocky.
No, DC, you will not. You are an amazing fighter. You are an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah.
Wrestler. Muhammad Ali would not come into a mixed martial arts fight and start taking people down. That's not how it works.
No.
DC can win this fight if he takes him down. Obviously, I don't know how we got onto this from Volkan Ozdemir, but we're talking about it. DC needs to wrestle Johnson. If he tries to box with him, it's going to be a short night. Because I don't mean it in a derogatory sense. DC has a big head. Johnson caught him seconds into their first fight.
Rude.
Johnson caught them seconds into their first fight, and that was it. That was the second DC thought, you know what? Maybe standing with this man isn't a good idea. So, but Volkan Ozdemir right now doesn't look like an amazing contender, but you know who did when they first came in? John Jones did, actually. That's a good point. John Jones did. But I'd like to see Volkan Ozdemir take a step up in competition. Who have we got in there? Shogun who? Shogun's actually booked at the moment, is he not?
I
believe he is.
I can't remember.
I'm 90% sure he is. But Volkan Ozdemir, I'd like to see him fight possibly Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. Rogerio, Little Nog. Interesting to see.
I wouldn't mind seeing that one, actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen Little Nog fight since he lost to Shogun, actually.
No.
I believe that was the latest fight. But it'd be interesting. I'd like to see Ozdemir take a step in competition, see if he's the real deal. The light heavyweight division is not very stacked at the moment and could always use a little bit more reinforcements.
I'm just having a quick look to see if Shogun is booked. I honestly can't remember.
I believe he's booked. I just don't believe it's against a big name.
His last fight was against Corey Anderson.
Yeah, I remember that fight,
because he beat him by split decision at UFC 198.
Yeah.
Before that, Antonio Nogueira, UFC 190.
Maybe he's not. Maybe we're wrong.
Before that, lost to OSP and then Don Henderson. So
maybe we were wrong.
Possibly.
So, Marcin Fortuna defeats Anthony Hamilton with one hell of a punch.
It was crazy.
It was good. Seconds into that fight, he got headbutted, and it was an unfortunate situation because I honestly thought, right, fight over, because that was a nasty cut on his eyebrow, leaking straight into his eye. But no, he's an absolute trooper, wanted to carry on, and ended up knocking Anthony Hamilton out.
Scary punch.
The scary thing comes from when he said, "No, I'm going to drop that back down to light heavyweight now." That's good. A light heavyweight that goes over. It's like when DC dropped down. It's a real scary situation. If you got someone like Anthony Johnson, who holds a victory over Andrei Arlovski.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, too soon saying that name after last time.
Ouch.
But if you can knock out men that are so much bigger than you, you immediately have an advantage to people who are your size.
Yeah.
And he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
So he'll probably, definitely, again, the light heavyweight division. There you go. Marcin Fortuna versus Volkan Ozdemir. That's the fight I'd make.
Let's do it. Let's book it.
Yeah, we'll book that. So then we're going to move to Jessica Andrade beat Angela Hill. Did she just beat her? Because, right, you got to remember, Angela Hill is the current, is she? The Invicta champion.
Yeah.
And Angela Hill got eaten by Jessica Andrade. She got absolutely battered.
I think Andrade is definitely Jacek's next opponent.
I would contend that. Jessica Andrade was already offered the Jacek fight, and she turned it down, saying she did not have enough experience yet. Whether she chooses to take that fight now is up to her, but I would argue that Michelle Waterson is a better fight for Joanna, based on experience.
Andrade versus Watson. Go, make it.
Go, I'll get on it. I'd like to see that fight actually. I like the Karate Hottie. I think she's.
I do like it too. Yeah. I
think she's my possibly one of my favourite strawweights. Obviously, Jojo Carlawood's there, but no one's taking that away, Jojo.
No.
If you're listening, we love you. But that's the fight I'd make.
Yeah.
Watson versus Andrade.
So I had to throw this one in just because I'm a fan of Nico Price.
What timing?
That was
with
beautiful.
A second left.
Yeah.
Literally a second.
It was, literally a second left in round 2. Nico Price defeat Alex Moreno by KO.
When he hit him as well, he crumbled.
Yeah.
It was... I don't know if I'd have called it, but yeah, it was definitely callable.
Yeah.
So Nico Price is obviously in the welterweight division. I'd like to see Nico Price take a step up in competition as well.
Yeah, Nico Price is now 10-0, so can we see a step up in competition, please, Dana? That'd be cool.
So who would you put him against in welterweight though?
The welterweight's kind of stacked at the minute.
It is, and with Jorge Masvidal taking the Neal Magny fight.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see a returning Lorenz Larkin fight Nico Price. Whether Lorenz Larkin chooses to come back, or go to another promotion, such as Bellator, is obviously up to him. We have no say in that.
That's a possible one.
But Nico Price would be an amazing return fight for him, and I think that has potential to be fight of the night, possibly fight of the year.
Yeah, so cool. We like Nico Price. So coming up this weekend, February the 11th, is UFC 208 Holly Holm versus Jermaine Durandamy.
Now, if for those of you who don't know who Jermaine Durandamy is, I didn't either. Definitely go and check out some of her fights. They're not always the most exciting. However, there is a recent fight she's had. She won the fight by knees to the body. As the other person she was kneeing, I didn't catch her name, was floored to the mat. Yeah. She hit her with a stone cold killer punch. It was the disdain in her face when she punched her was ridiculous. She is a stone cold killer, and I've changed my mind. Yeah. Jermaine Durandamy is gonna murder Holly.
Since we spoke about this last, I'm also gonna change my mind because I've been watching her, I've been looking at it, and I've become a bit of a fan. I've been looking into it. 6-3. You think, oh come on, 9 fights, 6-3.
5-time world Muay Thai champion.
But you look at her kickboxing record as well. She's 37-0 in kickboxing,
and a 5-time Muay Thai world champion.
I honestly think she could take this fight. She might have lost to Amanda Nunes, but come on, she's the champion.
If we break this fight down real quick, Holly Holm is an amazing kickboxer. Some say. Jermaine Durandamy is again an amazing kickboxer. Some say.
Yeah.
However, the difference between kickboxing and Muay Thai is some slight details in technique and clinch work. Holly Holm is okay in the clinch. She managed to avoid the clinch with Ronda Rousey, but that's questionable whether that was ever really a threat. As we move to think about Jermaine Durandamy, I can imagine her running in, getting Holly Holm in the clinch and finishing the fight with knees, just like she did a previous fight.
Yeah.
And that is my official prediction. Jermaine Durandamy, I'm going to get excuse me, I'm going to get brownie points for this, is going to win this fight with knees.
Okay, well, if we're going to put our predictions on, we'll put some predictions on. Jermaine Durand for me as well. I think she'll take this. Holly Holm, I can see getting a third loss in a row, honestly.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame, yeah. But she says she wants to be known for more than the woman who beat Ronda Rousey.
That's enough for me, though.
Yeah, it is.
Take that and run.
Taking another belt, that's what she wants to be known for, having the 2 belts. But, we'll just have to see. Next up, I'm not too sure if this is in order or not.
The main event of the evening is, for some reason, not the last fight.
No.
Anderson Silva versus Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
It's a crazy matchup.
It's weird, because Derek Brunson, for those of you who have not seen Derek Brunson, watch his fight with Yoel Romero. Derek Brunson consistently takes down Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about that for a second. Yoel Romero is a freak of an athlete. Yoel Romero could not get taken down by Chris Weidman.
No.
Chris Weidman is, I'm not a massive Weidman fan. I do like him, he's alright. But he could not take down Romero consistently. No. He could barely take him down. And when he did, Romero popped back up.
Yeah.
Whereas Brunson got on top of Romero a few times. But recently, and then he obviously got knocked out by Romero in the same fight in the last round, but that's irrelevant to my point. Derek Brunson is a wrestler who has fallen in love with striking because it's easier. And he realises he's got knockout power. Obviously, knocked out our boy Sam Alvey with said knockout power. But if he goes back to his wrestling, he has the potential to get a fight over one of the best fighters ever in Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
However, if he chooses to stand like he did with Robert Whittaker, Robert Whittaker is not Anderson Silva.
No.
Nobody's Anderson Silva, apart from Anderson Silva. No one has the striking ability of the Spider. Robert Whittaker surely does not. And Brunson got ran over, but because the way he was fighting, it was such a sloppy striking style, he cannot afford that.
No.
One mishap against Anderson Silva, as DC found out, because, obviously DC did the ground and pound to Anderson and won the fight. The one kick that Anderson landed, though, turned DC's face, not a very pleasant position after he got that stomach kick in. DC did not look best pleased. So, Brunson can win the fight.
Yeah.
Will he win the fight? Who knows?
Talking on Anderson Silva, he's recently speaking about Conor McGregor, about how he'd like to fight Conor McGregor and test his skills. So it's a questionable one, really.
It's not a questionable one at all. If McGregor can be beat by a so-so welterweight in Nate Diaz, McGregor cannot beat the best middleweight in the world at his own division. If McGregor is the former, right? Let's just talk about this for a second, because this is a strange one. McGregor, who is a natural featherweight, moving up to the middleweight division. Yeah, that's moving up. So we've got featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, 3 divisions. Okay. So if we go to the middleweight, it's 3 divisions. That's the same as who's the welterweight? It's the same as Tyron Woodley fighting Stipe Miocic.
Yeah.
Or the same as DJ.
Yeah.
Fighting Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, it's more questionable on why
it would be a massive fight, and I'd definitely watch it.
Probably one of the biggest ever.
The biggest ever.
In
the
terms
biggest ever.
of the two biggest fights.
The only bigger fight they could make would be John Jones versus Anderson.
Yeah.
A few years ago. That's not a fight I'd watch now. Or GSP versus Anderson.
Yeah.
They're the fights that they could have made, which they didn't.
Yeah.
That would probably be the biggest fight that they've made.
Talking on Anderson, our boy Sam Alvey does talk about Anderson, so if you want to hear that, it's coming up very, very soon.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to win this fight, and how?
So does Anderson Silva come back and get off that loss streak, or does Brunson do it for us?
What do you think?
It's a crazy one. I think I can see Anderson coming back in this one. I think Anderson's going to grab a win.
5 losses in a row, though.
I know.
Well, sorry, that's not correct. That's not incorrect. That is incorrect of me. He's got 4 losses and 1 no contest in the last 5 fights.
Yes.
Obviously, Weidman, Nick Diaz was a no contest.
Yep.
Bisping, and then Cormier.
Cormier, yeah, UFC 200.
Yeah. So, who do you think, Anderson or
Anderson? I think
Brunson?
Anderson's going to take it. He needs to get off this losing streak.
When I think of this fight, I think back to Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva 1. Derek Brunson's a lot bigger than Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
Is he a better wrestler? That remains to be seen. Chael Sonnen took Anderson down repeatedly and scored 2 10-8 rounds on him. Yet Anderson still won the fight with a triangle choke.
Exactly. You can
never count him out.
You can never count him out.
And there's not been a wrestler that's been able to beat him.
No.
Weidman beat him with strikes. It doesn't count.
No.
So I can't bet against the Spider. I'm going Anderson Silva by KO.
Yeah.
Derek Brunson's chin is questionable, and it will be tested on Fight Night.
Yeah.
So,
Middleweight.
Jacare versus Boetsch.
Yep.
Is this going to be Tim Boesch's swan song, or is this going to be Tim Boesch's moment to make a run at the title?
Tim Boetsch, 14th in the rankings, and Jacare 3rd. Tim Boetsch.
He's got balls.
He does, doesn't he?
No one wants to fight Jacare.
No.
No one. Luke Rockhold's running from Jacare. Anderson and Jacare are good friends. They don't want to fight each other. It's fairly understandable.
Yeah, they were training together. I saw them training together a couple of days ago.
So, Tim Boetsch, he's never wanted to... Like we said about when we were talking to Sam, real fighter. You'll take the fight.
Yeah.
And that's something that we look forward to.
Yeah.
I personally hope that Tim Boetsch wins this fight.
Yeah.
I have a personal investment in this fight. I love Tim Boetsch. I'm going to tell you a story about Tim Boetsch right now. Tim Boetsch is a high school wrestler, or was it a collegiate wrestler? He's a middleweight, obviously. His wrestling team needed a heavyweight, so he packed on the pounds and wrestled as a heavyweight. Sometimes in his matches he would give away 40 to 50 pounds in weight, but he still went and did it because they needed him.
Yeah.
That is a real fighter. That is a real man. And this is Tim Boesch's time. So right now, I'm going to make a leap of faith. Tim Boetsch is going to win this fight.
I'd love to see Tim win it. Honestly, I think it'd do massive things for him. Obviously, with him being 14th against 3rd, it would do big things for him, but I can see Jacare winning this.
I can see Jacare winning this, but faith. Tim Boetsch is going to win this fight. And you know what? I'm taking a step further. He's going to knock Jacare out. Second round with an uppercut.
Anything's possible.
From the left hand.
Anything's possible in the octagon.
I know.
Anything.
But that's what's going to happen. Right. Second round, uppercut, left hand.
Right, okay. Also on this card was Travis Brown versus Derek Lewis. Moved to another card because they didn't have a
main event for Halifax
for it. So
we'll speak about that again shortly.
Yep.
But Glover Teixeira, Jared Cannonier.
Yeah.
Glover obviously coming off that near-death experience with Anthony Johnson. Glover chose... Sorry, yes. The way this has been explained to me, Glover turned down the fight with Jimmy Manuwa.
Yeah.
That, again, understandable. That's a high-risk, low-reward fight. Glover wins, he's beat a lower contender than he is, and nothing happens. If he loses, though, Glover drops down in the rankings like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
So, Glover versus Jared, who do you think?
Jared is now 9-1, not in the top 15, whereas Glover is 3rd. I think Glover's going to take it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
He's got the wins over Rashad, Patrick Cummins, and OSP.
So, he's a good guy, Glover. He's one of those. He's always won his fights, but he's never won the big one.
Yeah.
He obviously lost to John Jones. He lost to Anthony Johnson fairly recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Glover's got this. Didn't he lose to Phil Davis?
I think he did. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm right about
Can't
that.
remember.
But yeah, Glover. I reckon Glover's got this. That one's not questionable.
No.
Right. Potential fight of the night, fight of the year coming up. Dustin Poirier, Jim Miller.
Okay, Dustin Poirier versus Jim Miller. All right.
So, what do you think?
So, I think we spoke about this about 2 weeks ago. Jim Miller is 28-8 and 1 no contest. Dustin Poirier 20-5. Let's talk Dustin Poirier first. Latest loss came to Michael Johnson.
But that wasn't just a loss. Oh my God, Michael Johnson uncorked that punch like you wouldn't believe, and I thought Poirier was dead for a minute. He was scary.
He won his his 4 fights before that, and then lost to McGregor.
No one's the same after they lost to McGregor, though.
But then tapped out Max Holloway. So
who knows?
This is quite a crazy.
When you say a lot of people that we talk about have wins over Max Holloway, but when you look at it now, do you think they could beat Max Holloway again?
Now, no.
No.
I think Max Holloway is at the best.
I think Dustin Poirier should have been at lightweight all along.
Yeah.
He looks good at lightweight.
Yeah.
Jim Miller, obviously his record is not the greatest thing ever. It's not a bad record, though.
It's a good
not a bad record. But all of his fights are so good. They're so watchable.
I agree.
His fight with Joe Lozon,
yeah.
His fight with Cowboy Cerrone was amazing before he obviously lost that fight, unfortunately. He's got submissions for days. He's not afraid to strike. He's an absolute legend, and he always comes forward. And he's another fighter that wants to fight.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to bet against Jim Miller. Never.
No,
Jim Miller's going to win this.
I think I'm going to go the other way with this.
Jim Miller's going to sink in a tasty rear naked choke.
Okay. Dustin Poirier, he's taking it.
How's he going to do it?
I just think he's going to take it.
I want you to give me a prediction. I have told you the method, even the hand and the strike, Tim Boetsch is going to win with.
Okay. It's a crazy one. Round 2, alright?
Oh, going for
quite
a
mad one. I didn't see you putting a round in there.
I did. I said round 2, my friend.
Oh, alright. I'll let you have that one then. So round 2, I don't know. Maybe a cheeky tap out? I don't know.
Well, Poirier is famous for his Darce choke.
I think he could get that Darce choke in.
I don't.
We'll have to see.
So we've got that. We're now going to move on to next weekend. So February the 18th.
Yeah.
Bellator 172.
There's also, what's the other card on that weekend? But we weren't going to talk about that until next week. I can't remember. There's another card on that weekend too.
We will talk about that
It's
next
a UFC card. We'll find that out next week.
So, Bellator 172, February 18th. There's 3 fights we're going to talk about, and they're the 3 fights that I really am interested in.
Yeah.
We'll start at the bottom. Josh Koscheck. Can you do it?
Josh Koscheck, yeah.
Koscheck.
So, obviously debuted in Bellator. I'm looking forward to seeing him, actually.
I always like Josh Koscheck, mainly because of his hair.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, obviously he lost a few fights, but the people he lost to were the boogeymen of the division. He lost to
Robbie
Lawler.
Robbie Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks, Robbie Lawler, Tyron Woodley. Those 3, former and current...
and he did not lose that fight to Johnny Hendricks. That fight was bullshit.
No,
he won that fight.
Yeah.
So, and if he'd have won that fight, he'd have fought GSP instead of Johnny Hendricks, and we wouldn't be here today.
So the 5-fight loss streak came to Eric Silver, Jake Ellenberger, Tyron Woodley, like I said, Robbie Lawler, like I said, and Johnny Hendricks.
Let's talk about those names for a second. Eric Silver was one of the most highly touted prospects in the division, and then that kind of went south.
Yeah.
Jake Ellenberger choked him out and gave him the foamy mouth. If you haven't seen that, it's quite funny. He choked him out, and Josh Koscheck started foaming at the mouth. It's quite a scary sight, but at the same time, you got to laugh. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Jake Ellenberger, obviously, never. Oh, that's the fight I just spoken about, rather.
Yeah.
We got Robbie Lawler, probably the scariest welterweight on the planet.
Former welterweight champion.
And current welterweight champion, Tyron Woodley.
Yep. And also former Johnny Hendricks.
So. Yeah, well, Johnny Hendricks. He didn't lose that fight, so we're not going to class it.
Okay.
So, Tyron, they're all great fighters. Yeah. It's a shame when you see someone go out. It's like Marcus Brimage. All the people he's lost to are current or former champions in the UFC. And it's such a shame to see him have to go.
Yeah.
But
so Josh hasn't fought since 2015. He defeated Matt Hughes by knockout, UFC 135 in 2011, I think it was.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So who's he fighting? Mauricio Alonso. Never heard of him.
Not much I know about him. I have to go with my fellow Josh. So yeah, Josh Koscheck is
Koscheck. Josh Koscheck's going to wrestle him to death, and we will have our Ultimate Fighter alumni original back in Bellator. We're sorted.
Yeah.
Going on to Czech Congo, Ollie Thompson. Czech Congo, obviously a household name in the UFC.
Yeah.
Famous for losing to Roy Nelson.
Yeah.
Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
Who else? He looked scary.
He lost to King Mo as well at Bellator 134 by decision.
That was an upsetting fight because it was such a good fight, and then King Mo decided he was going to shoot for a takedown and hold him there.
Yeah.
Rampage Jackson lost his shit over that. You saw a screaming cage. It was a mess. Anyway, Czech Congo is a decorated kickboxer. He has one of the coolest names in MMA, and he looks like a scary guy. And most importantly, he has a win over Mirko Cro Cop.
Yeah, he does.
He does indeed.
Ollie Thompson though, 17-9, lost to Matt Mitrione by TKO.
Right, let's talk about that for a second. Right, Ollie Thompson knocked Matt Mitrione on his ass so quickly.
Yeah.
He nearly won that fight.
Yeah.
Matt Mitrione, that was such a clutch victory. Obviously he won the fight by... He lost the fight by knockout, but, irrelevant. I'm making a point.
Before that, had a 5-fight win streak. Some interesting facts. In 2006, he was Britain's strongest man. In 2004, he was third. So he's the third British strongest man.
Oh, he's British?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to back him up then.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sorry, Czech Congo, you're going out.
Hey, let's go.
Right, let's go on, hey!
Cool.
Right, Fedor Emelianenko, Matt Mitrione. Right, here's an interesting situation. If Ollie Thompson had won that fight, would we have Fedor versus Ollie Thompson?
Possibly, yeah.
It wouldn't have been a bigger fight. It wouldn't have been a...
No, of course.
Fedor versus Mitrione. Fedor versus Congo would have been good.
Yeah, I would have.
I'd have liked that.
Yeah.
Both men have victories over Cro Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who do you think is going to win? Bearing in mind, Fedor's the underdog in this fight.
That's weird, that.
You can't call the greatest of all time. Right. There's levels of greatest of all time. Mighty Mouse is an all-time great. Mighty Mouse could not beat Fedor.
No.
Logically, obviously. Well, if he had a Glock 19, maybe, but no. Mighty Mouse couldn't beat Fedor. You know, weight matters, that's why there's divisions. Fedor's bigger than Mighty Mouse, so there's that. Okay?
Yeah.
Throwing it out there. Anderson Silva would have more of a chance, but again, weight matters. Fedor is the biggest and the best. I would put my money on Fedor in his prime. Fedor is currently not in his prime and coming off a shaky-ass victory over Fabian Maldonado.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter. Fedor every day of the week.
Current five-fight win streak. There's only 4 losses. Well, I can't remember the 4th guy, but it was Dan Hendo, Antonio Silva, and Fabricio. I can't remember the other guy's name.
It was a Japanese gentleman.
Yeah.
And that fight was wrong because he lost the fight via cut due to an elbow, and elbows were illegal in the fight.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
Yeah.
Fedor's going to win this fight.
Yeah, I don't really think we have to talk about
submission. I'm going to go submission, personally. I can see Fedor shooting takedowns and going arm bars.
I can see a submission coming in.
Right. So, we're going to move to just about this just been announced. We were quite confident this was going to happen, and we were right. JDS versus Stipe Miocic.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this last week. Why is the printer going off? I have no idea. But, Junior Santos versus Stipe Miocic.
Last person to beat Stipe, obviously, is JDS.
Yep.
Can he do it again?
We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. JDS is a bit hit and miss.
The heavyweight division is crazy. It's anything can happen. You could put anyone against anyone and someone will get knocked off.
JDS looked really good against Rothwell.
Yeah.
He looked really poor against Overeem. You know what I mean? It's hit and miss. It's really hit and miss. I think he could do it, but I also believe Stipe could do it as well. So this fight, it's too early to tell. We'll have to talk about it a bit more when it comes up. Yeah. However, the co-main event has been announced. Again, called this one. Fabricio Verdum, Big Ben Rothwell.
Yeah.
Fight was supposed to happen a few weeks ago, and Ben Rothwell got injured. Cain Velasquez took his place, and then also got injured.
Yeah.
Fabricio started calling for the title shot. Apparently, he got shot down.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this fight. Big Ben Rothwell recently submitted Josh Barnett, and that is an accomplishment all to itself.
Yeah.
So, this is a good fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I do like that. The start of that 211 card. It's a nice one.
Just hope they build on it and make a really good card.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think by the end of the year we can get to something like UFC 222. Yeah, 222. Something like that.
So there you go. That is our predictions for the upcoming fight. Now here is the moment you have all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Here is our conversation with Mr. Sam Alvey.
Yep, here it is.
Okay, guys, we are live here with Smilen Sam Alvey, top 15 middleweight in the UFC. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
You're an absolute legend. It's an absolute honour to have you on here.
Yeah, I'm so happy. This could be maybe one of the biggest, the best podcasts we've ever done for you guys. Getting Sam Alvey on. Obviously, like we said, top 15 middleweight in the world right now.
So let's jump right into it. Sam, we got some questions from our fans. The first one is, we want you to talk us through the fight with Nate. How did you expect that fight to go?
You know, I wasn't quite sure. I know Nate loves boxing. He's got a fantastic boxing coach, and I watch a lot of his fights. He's got a big right hand, but then he's also got that black belt. So I didn't know how much he was going to shoot, or if he was going to try and set it up with punches. So I did what I normally do. I tried to stop the shots and hit him harder and more often than he hits me.
That's interesting, because I remember watching you evolve. I remember every time you come into a fight, I remember thinking, he's going to knock him out. Sam's going to come in there and he's going to take their head off. And then you won by guillotine choke. So
yeah, who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, well,
at least I get to brag about it forever.
So how did it feel getting your hand raised in that moment then?
It was very quiet. Every time I fight for the UFC, there's so many people in the audience, and now there's so many people watching around the world. It's a surreal fight or feeling. They raise it, and everyone's cheering for that little bit. It's just the feeling. It drives me. I need more of that feeling. It's my drug.
I do remember seeing you in an interview saying you want to hold the record for the most fights in the UFC. Is that still a dream of yours?
I do. It's always been a record, a goal of mine to set records, to break records. And as of now, I'm tied. I'm tied with Cowboy Cerrone, Neal Magny, and Roger Huerta with 5 fights in 1 year. Whenever I get my next fight, as long as it's before June 18th, I set the record. I hold the record myself. So I would like to fight twice more before June, if I could.
Well, we'd love to watch you fight twice more before June. On the subject of holding records, the man at the top of your division, Mr. Michael Bisping, holds currently is the record for the most victories. Is that a record you think you could get up there as well?
He set that bar real high, but I want to. I want to. I want to. If I could have the career Michael Bisping has, I could die. I mean, one of the most successful men in UFC history. Especially, I get my hand on that belt.
Wow. So, talking about your next fight, Twitter is calling for Jack Marshman. What do you think about that?
You know what? I wanted to fight Magnus Sindeblad, and then Marshman beat him in the second. And Twitter noticed. Twitter started just tweeting me, oh, you should fight this guy, you should fight this guy. And on paper, the fight doesn't make a ton of sense. He's so new to the UFC. But then you look at his overall record, he's got a big record with a lot of knockouts. It would be a lot of fun to fight him.
It's nice to see someone, a real fighter, if you like. Obviously, we class Bisping as a real fighter. You want to fight, and that is, you see a lot of fighters now turning down fights because the money isn't right, or they don't want to fight this particular person, whereas you're willing to fight someone who isn't a big name. It's a high risk, low reward fight, and that's a lot of respect going to you for that one. That's really impressive. But I got to ask, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm so convinced I'm never going to lose again. I'll fight whoever. Whatever. You want to bring Mike Tyson out of retirement, I'll fight him.
Wow.
I love my job. I love doing it. And I love that people like to watch me do it.
So, talking about that then, if the UFC could offer you anyone, who would it actually be?
Well, Michael Bisping's the champion, so I guess I got to say Michael Bisping.
I got to say, we actually talked about this last week. We were saying it's Derek Brunson versus Anderson Silva coming up this Saturday, and we said obviously if your fight against Brunson had gone the other way, that could have been you fighting Anderson Silva, and I actually believe that would have been a much more entertaining fight to see you fight Anderson than to see Brunson try and wrestle him for 3 rounds.
It's funny. Anderson Silva might be the only fighter alive that I would have to really get my mind around. Everyone else, Anderson Silva, he's just been the king of the world for so long, and I watch how he fights. And I would have to mature in my camp to get my brain around fighting him. Everyone else in the world, I'd be fine. You put me in there today, but Anderson Silva, I'd have to get some therapy before fighting him.
He is a legend, isn't he? I can imagine. Obviously, we're not fighters. We are martial artists, but we're nowhere near the level you're at. And I can imagine it's terrifying looking up at someone who's a legend and having to stare across the ring from them.
Yeah, he was just he was the king of the world as I was coming up through the ranks. For 8 or 9 years, he was the king, and it's just he's got some big shoes to fill.
I can imagine. I definitely agree with what you're saying there. If you were to fight Bisping, how would you approach that fight?
Same way I approach every fight. I would try real hard to hit him harder and more often than he hits me.
Well, that's a good way to do it. And obviously, Bisping, I don't want to say, obviously we love Bisping as a fellow countryman. Bisping isn't known for his knockout power, whereas you, for lack of a better word, have hands made of absolute stone. So boxing with you is not something I'd promote. So that question from our fans. Now we have a couple of questions we'd like to ask you.
There's one more question from the fans that I've just seen. How much weight do you cut to make 185? Like, how is the weight process?
The actual cut, I do about 17 pounds the week of the fight. But, the overall weight loss, as soon as I'm done fighting, I'm in the weight room. I'm lifting weights. I get up to about 225.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it takes me, as soon as I hit 225, I start cutting back because that gets pretty heavy. I start snoring when I hit 225. So, my wife makes me stop lifting so much and eat a little better. Honestly, it's about 225. It's as big as I get once I start lifting. But the actual cut, like the week of cut, is about 17 pounds.
Would you ever consider moving up to 205?
I've had a lot of fights at 205.
Did you fight Jason Guida at 205?
No.
No.
He was supposed to be at 205. He missed weight by like 30 pounds. I fought Jason Guida at heavyweight.
Oh wow, there you go. That's put a smile on my face. I love people who want to fight.
Hey, that's what he does.
Yeah, he's one of the few remaining true fighters we've got. So my question for you, Sam: By the way, my name's Sam also, so it's great to share a name with you.
Yeah, it's a great name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. We wear it proud. When did you know you wanted to be a fighter?
When they started paying me. No, it was. I always did. I just did it for fun, and somebody eventually said, "Hey, instead of for fun, I'll pay you." I said, "Wow, I can get paid doing this." And I kind of thought, "Oh, you guys are suckers. I would have done it for free." Yeah, and then they started paying me, and I started then I started training a little bit.
Yeah.
Before long, I had started my own gym, and before long after that, I moved to California and started training with Dan Henderson.
Damn. So, my question, Josh, how do you keep so happy and jolly during fight week?
Have you seen my family? They're wonderful. My wife is gorgeous. My kids are beautiful. They just make me happy.
Yeah.
And I think that's got a big something to do with it.
That's really nice. It's really nice to hear. On the subject of keeping happy, if you don't mind me saying, you don't. If I was to see you in the street, you don't come across it when you hear the term, professional mixed martial artist, cage fighter. You think of a big, gentleman with skulls on his tattooed everywhere. You don't look like that. Yet you fight better than 99% of fighters we see. How do you? It's a strange one.
Yeah.
How have you not fallen into this trend of all the other fighters? Because even when you walk into the cage, you look happy as Larry. Like,
I think that's the difference. Is I really am happy to be able to do what I'm doing. I mean, I think about what I get to do. I get a company to pay me to fly all over the world, doing something I would literally do for free. Now, cutting weight, you got to pay me to cut weight. But the actual fighting, I would do for free, and I get the opportunity that nobody on this planet gets. To me, I don't understand why so many fighters look so angry all the time. We've got the dream job, and I'm not going to hide it with a frown.
Wow, you really are one hell of a genuine guy, Sam. It's really nice talking to you. So this is the bonus question. We always like to include a little bonus question. How do you keep your teeth? How do you keep your teeth so white?
Let's see. Well, not many people know, but my front left tooth is a fake tooth.
Oh,
wow.
I lost it in high school wrestling. I think it was my brother. He got a big takedown. No, you know what? It was that. I was a junior and as a senior, he headbutted me a little bit, and killed my tooth. So that helps a little bit. Fake teeth, they wait a little longer. And then I don't know, I floss a lot. You know what I started doing? When I broke my jaw, it was the most miserable 6 weeks of my life. But it always just sucked. So I got one of those water picks, like water floss.
all right.
And now I'm addicted to it. I water floss constantly.
So there we go. That's a fight talk exclusive. Talking about your teeth.
So we got to thank you, Sam. Thank you very much for coming on.
It's been an honour.
It has been an absolute pleasure.
Hey, thank you guys for having me on. It was a real pleasure talking to you.
We look forward to seeing you fight again, Sam. Thank you so much.
We hope you break that record too, Sam.
Oh, me too. I hope I break it. Nobody will ever take it from me.
We'll do our best to make sure of it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Okay, so there it was, Sam Alvey on the Fight Talk podcast. May I just say, on behalf of the entire two of us here at the Fight Talk podcast, Sam Alvey is an absolute legend. Yeah. He is such a genuine guy, such a genuine fighter, and I'd like to see him win the title.
Absolutely love speaking to him.
He's made such a fan out of me.
Yeah.
I hope you guys, I hope he came across as nice as he did to us.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we did. It obviously was a great laugh. We spoke to him beforehand as well on Skype and Twitter. Such a nice guy. You know, it just shows what kind of a fighter he is. He just wants to fight. He's genuine, you know.
And how about a top 15 middleweight in the world? Let's just encompass that. There is so many billion people on this planet, and he is the top 15 at 185. Yeah. And he decided he was going to come and talk to two blokes from North Wales in the UK on a podcast because we asked him to. Yeah. How nice is that?
It's so genuine.
Wow. I'm going to send him a virtual muffin basket. So, anyway, Sam, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. From one Sam to another, I love you, buddy.
Yeah, cheers, man.
So, this has been the Fight Talk podcast this week, sponsored by the Fight Platform. Check them out for all the mixed martial arts news and stories. Thank you for listening. Let us know in the comments section if you'd like to see any other fighters on here, and we'll do our very best to get them on. And thank you for listening. I've been Sam.
I've been Josh.
Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you all next week.